No fudge. Does anyone want some? Got nuts in it.
What up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. My bed poorly made, but whatever. But yes, how you guys doing? Do you guys have a good day? Good week. It's Friday. The weekend is upon us. Hope you guys are doing well. I am trying my best, as we all are. We are live on YouTube, Rumble, and X. So make sure to follow those if you haven't already. Smash that subscribe button, punch that thumbs up, and ring that bell to get notified when I go live. Whether it's this show, the Power Up Podcast, whether a solo show or with a guest, or my game streaming, which right now I'm planning to continue Sword of Mana after this. Feeling a little tired, but I think we'll be all right. Think we can do it. And of course, in the descriptions on YouTube and Rumble, you can find my other social media. And over on X, you can find my link tree to also follow and find those other social medias. Just greatly appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Humbled, blessed. And if you want to go beyond just pushing the algorithm, check out the membership and subscription tiers. That'd be pretty cool to get some of that. It will go towards helping the channel grow. But in any case, this is an oversized pop cover. Not even a good pop filter, but it will do what I need it to do for now. But yeah, we got some articles here. As we know, Assassin's Creed Shadows still causing commotion from people saying it hurts Japanese people because you have a story taking place over in Japan and you decide to go out of your way to find the one black guy that happened to be over there at the time and said that's a good representation of Japan. Oh, so retarded. So retarded. Because of course, if they would do this over in like Africa or something, they would obviously go out of their way to try to find someone who's not, the norm, I guess you could say, of the ethnicity over there. I made a joke saying, like, when they do Assassin's Creed, whatever the story is in Africa, I'm sure they'll go out of their way to like find some, hopefully some well-established Japanese person that was over there and have them be the prime character. X'd out they would though. But anyway, but yes, we found an article apparently about Ubisoft shares just tanking with all this Yasuke bullshit. And we've got an article about apparently Terminator Zero anime. First time I've heard of this, so that seems pretty cool. We've got Kill la Kill creator apparently. What is this? Get out of here. Defends the fan service in anime. So definitely got to read up on that. And then, of course, X-Men 97. Of course. The showrunner confirms that Morph had romantic feelings for Wolverine. I saw this coming a mile away. They always do this. Anything from the past that was just a well-established friendship has to be made gay in some way, shape, or form. They always have to do this because these people don't really understand friendship. You can't just be a good bro to one another. There has to be butt stuff involved, apparently, to these people. So we'll check it out. Let's check it all out. Let's see. Let's start with the Kill la Kill one. Like, definitely want to see this. This is from over Bounding into Comics. Let's pull up that screen. Kill la Kill creator, and I haven't seen Kill la Kill, but I've heard it's pretty good. Oh, there it is. Sorry, got distracted. Kill la Kill creator defends fan service in anime. If we make the work completely sterile, people's immunity will be weakened and they will all die. Wow. What a statement. In the opinion of Kill la Kill creator Kazuki Nakashima, while there exists a growing opposition among audiences to the concept of risque anime fan service, well, I mean, let's be real here. The growing opposition are from people who never liked anime to begin with. This is the thing. This is the thing. These people never liked this sort of stuff to begin with. But yet they're also the ones to first scream, you know, my body, my choice sort of thing. So the irony is just absolutely hilarious. It all comes down to power. They want to control everything. That's what it comes down to. He and his fellow creators, quote, should dare to take on the stigma and keep including such content in their works. As far as I'm concerned, don't even listen to these people. Like, just completely ignore it to begin with. They're like, don't even humor them. Like, look at that picture. Look at that right there. Nakashima, who, in addition to the Studio Trigger original series, is also known for penning such fan favorites productions as Gurren Lagann, an awesome show. Promare, not familiar with that one. Kamen Rider W. I've heard of Kamen Rider, but I never watched anything in Kamen Rider Fours. Offered his thoughts on the titillating topic during a May 2024 interview given alongside series director Hiroyuki Imaishi to Japanese news outlet Febri in reflection Kill la Kill's 10th anniversary. At one point, met with observation from the outlet's Shotaro Miya, as machine translated by DeepL, that the production of the over-the-top and bombastic style of the fashion-centric Seinen series, quote, was only possible because it was made 10 years ago. Imashi confirmed his host's assessment and admitted, nowadays we have to think a little more about what we can't make. Disagree. Just go ahead and make it. And don't listen to these woke Western ideologies. Don't listen to them. For example, the exposure of skin, to which Nakashima added, I think even I would have to restrain myself from doing a full body depiction of Mako. Why? Oh, this? I mean, I guess. I don't know how old she is or anything like that, but I mean, see, this is the thing with anime. The whole point is to it is obviously to sexualize the women in the terms of like physical appearance, femininity, and all that stuff. That's always there. Sex sells. I hate to say this, but sex sells. This is a theme that has been established in advertisement forever. And I learned about this in college. I got an art degree. Luckily, my job, I'm actually using it. But you learn about this in college. Money, sex, power. You will find those three themes in anything. Any way, shape, and form. This idea of having to make it for the modern audience and stuff like that is complete bullshit. Number one is because these people don't even like the subject matter that you're even talking about. What they just see is an area that hasn't been wokeified yet. So it is their duty to the savior of the human race, apparently, to infiltrate this, to gain control and all this stuff, and to then be in control so that they will be the ones that will determine what is acceptable and what is not. All for the sake of XYZ. But of course, the catch-22 is usually the people that say they fight against racism, bigotry, and all that stuff. They are the most racist and bigoted people on the planet because they analyze everything by a skin, or I guess I should say ethnicity, gender, race, sexual orientations, literally the definition of everything they claim they're against in its purest, rawest form. And I've said this plenty of times, but it's literally the same news every time. Now, of course, a broken clock can be right twice a day, but these people expect you to replace all your clocks with a broken one. It's retarded. I don't think today's audience would tolerate a peek into the bathroom, he added with a laugh. I would have to make an excuse for it more carefully. This person's life is at stake, like that. Something like that, though, it's been stereotyped enough that we understand what it is. This is the other thing, too, is these people take it seriously when literally you laugh at it because they're not real people. These people aren't real. Then pressed by a likewise jovial Mia, wouldn't it be better to just cut the bath scene? No, do not cut anything. That is censoring. Do not cut it. If these people can't handle it, they can leave. Not change it so it suits me. They can leave. Nakashima smiled in turn. If you ask me if the bath peeking scene is interesting after all the logic I put into it, I would say it's not that interesting. So I think I would cut it. No. Don't fall for it. Don't look, Mr. Krabs, it's a trick. No, don't do it. It's a lie. It's fine the way it is. I haven't even seen it, and I'm already saying keep it in there because that's what you originally intended. Do not change it. Turning his thoughts to the general discourse surrounding fan service, the story Japanese entertainment writer lightheartedly asserted, after all, we are making a commercial work and we want the audience to see it. We don't care if people say, I don't understand, but we don't want them to feel unnecessarily uncomfortable. My response would be to go fist yourself and stop watching the anime if you are weak-spirited. That's my response. But on the other hand, if we make the work completely sterile, people's immunity will be weakened and they will all die. Therefore, there is a way of thinking that we should dare to take on the stigma and transmit harmful things. Yes, there is an answer to all this, and it's don't change anything because it worked in the past. The people that are claiming that there was always a problem and whatnot, they're the ones that created the problem in the first place. And if they did have a problem with it, all of this stuff was taken care of behind the scene. It didn't affect the product because at the end of the day, it's entertainment. This is kind of falls in line because in a way, it's all connected anyway, but it falls into line with that stupid, retarded concept that some conservatives try to push today with the whole video games make people violent things. No, it doesn't. It's been debunked many, many times. And they're still trying to push that crap. This is the same thing. Now, keep in mind, there's a difference between just making a World War II game or something like that. And you're going around, killing the Yahtzees and all that stuff because that's what happened. And killing is just a byproduct of it. It's just a byproduct of it. That's different than making a game about whatever, a woke game, specifically just to push that specific message. Huge difference, Now, do I think you have the right to go and make a game like that? Sure. But then don't bitch and complain when it doesn't sell because no one is entertained by that. Because that's their response is when their woke garbage doesn't sell, is that you didn't play it because you're a bigot, because you're a racist. No, it's because it's terrible product and it doesn't sell. Because heaven forbid entertainment the concept of being entertained to get away from life for a little bit and just sit there and be entertained. Heaven forbid we can just have that. Not everything has to be related to real life. As I'm slurping on my almost empty off-brand Dr. Pepper. We do it with the lofty aspiration. This is what we need to do for the sake of humanity's immunity, he playfully continued. We will never be understood, but we will die with the stigma for the sake of humanity. There is a way to do it with that kind of feeling. Putting a final bow on their conversation with Mia, Imaji ultimately joked back to his Kill La Kill partner. However, I don't want to perish if I can help it. It should be noted that despite his exaggerated language, Nakajima doesn't actually think fan service is vital to the survival of the human race. Rather, the story's writers' joking take is meant to convey the idea that the more artists have to sand off the edges of their creation, the more boring they will ultimately be. And if that becomes the norm, the entire media will suffer for it. Exactly. And we've seen this. We're seeing this happen. We'll read up here shortly about Ubisoft shares tanking, apparently. Because they made a Japanese-based game about a black dude. Apparently the one black dude all in Japan. With very little information about his history. I read the Britannica article, and the word unknown was like the word of the day in that article. Although his history was unknown, he was this. A lot of his birthplace was unknown, but we're thinking it was this. It's unknown when he was truly made it to Japan, but he was active around this year. Unknown, unknown, unknown. It's exactly what these people look for. As little information as possible, so that means they can make up the most bullshit. And you know what? As proven by the currently creative bankrupt state of Western comic books, video game, film, and television industries, he's absolutely correct. And that is true. I agree. Because this is what happens when you cater to people who don't want to be entertained. They want a message pushed, and they want to be the one controlling what the message is. I'm surprised. I didn't see any grammar or spelling errors in this article. Good job bounding into comics. I usually stumble across those. I always like checking out the comments. Well, at least they're... Get out of here. Well, at least they somewhat confirm that they'll try their best to stay on the edge of creativity. This also proves that there's pressure in Japan to move away from fan service. This is true, but where's the pressure coming from? If it's coming from like Western localization companies, fuck them. Let them suffer. You can find companies that actually respect your product and just want to give you a good quality. They're out there. You just got to stop listening to these people. So, yeah. Creator of Kill la Kill, he understands what's going on. Alrighty. So what the heck is with this Terminator Zero anime? Coming from Niche Gamer. Terminator Zero anime reveals premiere date and more. So here we go. Here's a Terminator. Kind of has some Arnold-esque type features. But still kind of unique. Netflix. Oh, damn it. I read Netflix and I immediately went, uh-oh. That's not good. But it sounds like it's original, though. But that's also not good either. Though A lot of the live action or Netflix based stuff kind of suffers. I've heard some of the anime or animation, anime, whatever you um that genre, because some you can have animation, but it's not anime specific, you know. But Netflix has fully revealed their new anime. This one obviously is an anime called Terminator Zero. As the name implies, it's set in the Terminator franchise. The anime is a collaboration of Skydance Animation and Production IG and will now stream worldwide in Netflix on August 29th. So what that's this month, right? Oh no, we're in May. My dates are messed up. So Masashi Kudo from Production IG serves as ad director, and Matson Tomlin, apparently involved with Project Power and The Batman 2, will serve as executive producer, and writer David Ellison, Dana Goldberg, and Don Granger, all from Skydance, will also serve as executive producers. Now, I'm probably sexist for doing this, but Dana Goldberg. I might even. There's also Dana. There's Dana Carvey, so maybe I'm wrong. Not the comedian. The executive, or what is this from Skydance? It was a woman. Okay. 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 What is she like? What has she done? She Oh, she was in Top Gun Maverick. Okay. I mean, she was the apparently she's a chief creative officer. Okay, so she was involved with Top Gun Maverick, which did really well. That's good. Ghosted, Heart of Stone, The Family Plan, The Gorge, The Old Guard 2, Transformers Rise of the Beast. Apparently an upcoming Mission Impossible reboot of Spy Kids. I mean, I don't know. I don't know a lot of those. I just went, uh-oh. That's the big one. Just we got to be careful. And this is what it's coming down to. To that sort of stuff. It's like, uh-oh. A woman involved? Are they woke? Then you look, and then a lot of times you're sad because your gut feeling is correct. I guess the more appropriate thing would be, is she there because she's the diversity hire, or she's the activist? That's the big question around the word stinky. Can you do a stinky in him? Because if you can't, what's the point? Because everyone can just pee their pants. I did it 5 minutes ago. Never felt better. Never felt freer. That was my Jiminy Glick impression. Anyway, the 8-episode anime will feature a different cast from the Terminator franchise. Okay. Netflix ordered the series way back in 2021. Dang. Though it hasn't been fully revealed till now. Wow. So 2022, a future war has raged for decades between the few human survivors and the endless army of the machines. 1997, the AI known as Skynet gained self-awareness and began its war against humanity. Caught between the future and this past is a soldier sent back in time to change the fate of humanity. She arrives in 1997 to protect a scientist named Malcolm Lee, who works to launch a new AI system designed to compete with Skynet's impending attack on humanity. As Malcolm navigates the moral complexity of his creation, he is hunted by an unrelenting assassin from the future, which forever alters the fate of his 3 children. So look, I know Terminator's like time travel is a big thing. 1997. So are they trying to replace Judgment? Oh my gosh. Because they literally took the concept of Judgment Day, changed, made like both Arnold and Kyle Reese, who traveled back in time, swap him out for a woman, the strong woman, and now got to save a scientist named Malcolm. Oh, let me just see something here. What is this? Terminator. What was this called again? What was this? Terminator Zero. Is there actually a trailer or something? Okay, that's just a still series. Okay, kind of seeing. Okay, I found something on. Well, here we'll do this. Okay, so originally the rights holders for the franchise wanted to release a series of anime shorts in 2008 called Termination, but the series was never realized and would have focused on Judgment Day, where Skynet declares war on humanity. Surprisingly, the T-800 antagonist from Terminator has made a cameo in a Doraemon anime back in June 2009, almost the same month that Terminator Salvation was released. Okay, so that's all the information we got on Niche Gamer. I found this right here. So here's another picture. This is from nerdbot.com. So there's your picture again. Upcoming series. Everything is canon. One of the biggest challenges in writing for anything Terminator is continuity. Between 6 movies in the series Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, there are a lot of quirks in the timeline. Well, the problem is that you should have just stopped after 2 and everything would have been fine. While most new entries pretend certain things don't exist, Tomlin is keeping everything that came before it canon. We're not going to pretend that the 3rd movie didn't happen, he told Entertainment Weekly. We're not going to pretend that the 6th movie didn't happen. Oh boy, I heard those movies are terrible. While that amount of canon may sound dizzying, Terminator Zero will break away from the franchise's established formula in a few ways. Oh, please enlighten us. First, there will be no Connors. So then why are you calling it Terminator? Because that was the whole point. Neither Sarah nor John will be the focus of the series. Okay. I mean, that's cool. But you got to make reference to it. Because unfortunately, that's what the series is. Sarah Connor. The Connor family, unfortunately. That is what Terminator is all about. And Skynet. Instead, he is choosing to focus on all new characters. I think that it's time to go into new characters and not burden myself with another John and Sarah Connor saga. There's been a run at that a couple of different times, says Tomlin. There are a lot of callbacks to other films. Fans who really know the movies are going to be doing the Leo meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but it's not going to be as direct as John Connor walks in, because John Connor does not walk in. Dude, I got a sneaking suspicion they're just going to take the idea of Judgment Day, make it diversity and strong woman, and be like, look, it's something brand new. Well, that's how Niche Gamer worded it, but that could just be the author of the article. Being in Japan, Tom Lee's real hurdle is Terminator Zero being set in Japan. Okay. Netflix, Skydance, and animation studio production IG all want the show to have a Japanese component, so he decided to base the entire 8-episode series there, causing some unexpected changes. I was aware that there aren't really guns in Japan, and I don't think I quite appreciated how real that was. I've seen plenty of animes with guns in them from Japan. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. And if you're really going to try to weasel out guns, that's part of what Terminator's all about. Oh, this does not sound good. This does not sound good. He then went on to explain that during the first draft of season 1 scripts, there was a sequence where violence breaks out all over Tokyo, with many citizens pulling out firearms. My partners at Production IG came back and said, "Hey, so there are no guns in Japan. If we needed guns, we don't know where we would get it." It was just such a stunning moment for me. Like, oh wow, I am an. Oh my gosh, this sounds. This. Oh my gosh. Don't know how they'll get guns. Are you retarded? You could easily figure out a way of how people in Japan get guns. What about gang members? They have connections to get guns. I think of Death Note. There was a bunch of guns in there, even though they were on the police force and stuff. But what about L? Frickin' L. He was rich. He had all that stuff. I I know they explained his backstory of how he got that, but the point is, it's not that hard to think of how they're able to accomplish it. This is so, oh my gosh, this is stupid. As you can imagine, this means Terminator Zero will be devoid of all the gunplay fans have come to expect. Literally what Terminator is all about. So already starting off strong of this failing. However, that doesn't mean there won't be violence. Oh, goody. There's also a definite taxi driver, Travis Bickle kind of vibe in there, Tomlin says. Making reference to Robert De Niro's character in the classic Martin Scorsese film. If he was going to fight a Terminator and don't have guns, what are the weapons that I could concoct? But he went out and got a gun, though. Taxi Driver, I haven't seen fully. I've seen only clips of it, but I know damn well he gets a gun. Oh my gosh, this is... Why do they always give examples of like really classic or solid films and then go, well, we're not going to do it that way, but it's kind of going to be like that? It's like, oh my gosh, you... Ugh. Oh, this is so dumb. So dumb. And look at this. Okay, so there's a gigantic explosion. If like, okay, if they're gonna try to do it to where maybe this is Skynet actually starting to take over and stuff, and like all over the world or something, and the government realizes, yeah, it can't just be us. There you go. There's a way. Like maybe the government somehow is like, we hereby revoke this, and then citizens are allowed to carry to protect themselves against Sky. You know, there you go. I just gave you a reason how they can get guns. Literally a world threat. There's a completely valid reason of the Terminator franchise where the Terminator is synonymous with Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, where he is this unrelenting serial killer, he adds. There's a little bit of Friday the 13th in here. There's a little bit of Michael Myers from Halloween in here. Yeah, in that they all kill. I mean, they didn't kill just to kill. They had a purpose. They were programmed with the purpose. Skynet became self-aware and realized that humans were a threat to their survival, so they had to eliminate them. All right, what's the plot? So, takes place in 97, right on the cusp of Skynet's military AI network becoming self-aware. There you go. I just gave you an idea of how they could get guns in Japan. The government realizes that Skynet and AI is taking over. Therefore, government lifts of now citizens can do, carry or something. Series will take place just before a decades-long war between machines and humans kick off. The story will focus on a soldier from this hellish future being sent back in time to present a scientist named Malcolm Lee. Lee and his 3 children are being hunted by a machine assassin disguised as a human because he is developing a competing AI system for Skynet. I knew that I wanted to tell a time travel story. I knew I wanted to tell a time traveling story because that's kind of what Terminator is all about, time travel. And I knew I wanted to tell an almost Godfather-like multi-generational saga that ultimately followed this family with these kids. Tomlin says, what I wanted to do, if we do get to do multiple seasons, is to see these kids grow up and see who they become. Tomlin took a lot of inspiration for the first two films. He points to Kyle Reese from '84 Terminator. You don't know what's going on with that guy. He said you don't know that he is the hero. These are all original characters. We don't know who anybody is. All of these answers are going to be are going to absolutely be revealed, and there will be a revealed pretty quickly. So it's set to release Thursday, August 29th. All 8 at the same time. Niche Gamer made it sound like the assassin or the Terminator being sent back is a female, and then Malcolm is the scientist. And he said they took inspiration from the first two films. So, dude, I'm telling you, the way Niche Gamer kind of what their information was and how they wrote this article, and from this one, they're saying they're planning to do all this stuff, but I guarantee you they're just going to take Judgment Day and reverse the roles, make Arnold's character a woman, make Sarah Connor or whoever, this Malcolm guy. And they're just going to say that's good enough. Well, I don't have kind of high hopes for it. Maybe I'm wrong. But we'll see. And we'll take this time. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to smash that subscribe and like button. And make sure to follow me on X if you so desire. And check out my descriptions for my other social media as well. Let's go ahead and hop in to this one that I knew what was going to happen, and that is X-Men 97. You knew damn well that they were going to do something with Wolverine and Morph. Oops, that is the other one we will be talking about. But yeah, that's the main article. Ubi shares tanks as racist at Kotaku, IGN, and the Gamer defend Yasuke, the African who surrendered to his master's opponent. Ouch. Yeah, they are so trying to rewrite history. That's why they pick. We'll get there. We'll cover there. This is what I was gonna pick. Oh, and gosh, yeah, bounding. I usually use Edge, and for some reason Edge was saying that the Bounding into Comics website isn't safe, so I switched over to Brave. But Brave kind of is pretty bad at filtering out some of the stuff in terms of this stupid banner. Well, you can't see it, but it says X-Men 97 showrunner confirms Morph was confessing romantic feelings for Wolverine. Of course he was. Of course. Because these people cannot have just a basic bro friendship. There has to be something budding there. Gosh. I said it from the very beginning. When I was kind of intrigued when I first saw it, very first impression. People then pointed out that flyer that blows in episode 1 of a drag show or whatever or whatever the fuck it was called. And you just knew. You knew they were going to be doing this. They'll claim it takes place right after, right on the tail of the series. And then they're doing all this stuff that didn't exist back then. Well, it did exist back then. No, it didn't. This woke shit did not exist at all. Then you just retconned the whole thing too with Morph by doing the stupid they them. In the original series, he was pretty confident of who he was. He was a dude. In putting to rest any doubt regarding the intention of the seemingly ambiguous scene, former X-Men 97 showrunner Bo DeMaio has confirmed that during his attempt to provide emotional support for the wounded mutant berserker in the series' first season finale, Morph was in fact confessing his love for Wolverine. There you go. This is why, man, it's kind of annoying when your gut feeling is right, you know? Because other people out there, they were, the people who kind of talked about this and stuff, you got your, Yellow Flash and all them and stuff. Obviously, make your own judgment and opinion and stuff. They at first said, no, like, this is going to be woke and stuff. And then they watched the series and said, well, you know what? It wasn't that bad. The story was really good. And they were saying he was like the creator, Bo was like, capturing all the best moments apparently of the comics, of specific comic moments and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is bait and switch tactics to the extreme. And I said this before. This is probably going to get worse. It's especially getting worse in the video game stuff that we're seeing with all this censoring. They are waiting for you to buy the game, and then they're going to patch everything and censor it. And then try to weasel out by saying, well, you bought it. We're not going to give you a refund. They're doing this a lot harder in the video game area because I think it's more easy for them to do it. But this right here, we can kind of fight against it by just canceling your Disney subscription. So there you go. For those who haven't tuned into the Revival series, I haven't. I only watched episode 1, and I said the story was good, like okay, if anything, and animation sucks. I got shitted on for saying that, but as we see with the ratings flopping and then this bullshit happening, my assessment was correct. How does the animation have to do with like the overall rating and the story and stuff like that? Well, here's the thing. It goes to show that even if the story is pretty solid and pretty good, if I can't stand the animation, I'm not watching it. I can put up with some, like, for video games, I can put up with some bad gameplay and stuff like that and kind of handle a solid story. But I have control of that. I have control playing a video game because I'm literally controlling the character. You can't control anybody in this. This is how they want it to. And I've already talked about how studios are doing this really shitty bare minimum. We'll go ahead and draw the concept art and all this and that and stuff, but we're going to use computers and stuff to kind of do a lot of the heavy work and stuff, thus taking away the passion and the stuff that you can clearly see in the OG series. Doesn't matter if they also skipped, certain frame to save time, like frame rates to save time and stuff like that. At least people were actually drawing it. They weren't relying so much on a system that is smart and can fill in a lot of stuff. Okay, so for those of you that haven't tuned into the Revival series, and according to the numbers that may be most of you, yep, the scene in question takes place during the 10th and final episode of its first season, Tolerance is Extinction, Part 3. So spoiler to anybody, I will sleep soundly at night. Therein, after receiving word that Bastion is fast approaching their current location of asteroid M with intent of ripping the space base from the sky and smashing it down upon the heads of Earth's inhabitants, the Tidler team finds themselves rushing to intercept him before he can make his plan a reality. However, realizing that Wolverine needs someone to protect his mangled body as it attempts to heal from having the adamantium ripped from his skeleton by Magneto just moments. Oh, so they really did the Magneto removing adamantium scene, huh? Moments prior, Morph elects to sit out the approaching final battle in order to stand wounded teammate. Bounding into comics, come on. Morph elects to sit out the approaching final battle in order to stay with his wounded teammate. Can't you just say it's something like that? In order to stand wounded teammate. What does that mean? Oh my gosh. Anyway, unfortunately for the X-Men, though they're able to defeat the human Sentinel hybrid himself, his plan is still set into motion courtesy by President Kelly, whose attempt to eliminate the threat of Asteroid M via missile strike only serves to knock it out of orbit and send it careening towards the planet below. Finding themselves in the last line of defense against the absolute extinction of all life on Earth, the team then moves to try and stop Asteroid M's descent by unleashing the full might of their combined powers against it, all the while fully understanding that should their efforts be successful, they will most likely result in the destruction of the base and thus their deaths. Oh my gosh, they actually had Flash Thompson, Peter Parker, and Mary Jane Watson watch. Oh my gosh. How is Mary Jane Watson there? She was in another dimension. So faced with the very real possibility that his time may be at an end while his teammates fight to save the world, the team's resident shapeshifter comes to terms with the fact that he may be staring down his very last chance to come clean regarding his feelings with Wolverine. Oh my gosh, this is so gay. Literally. Using his powers to take on the appearance of Jean Grey, the team's resident shapeshifter proceeds to admit his comatose teammate. She can't say it, but I can. I love you, Logan. Stay with me. Notably, thanks to morphs being transformed at the time, the scene's implication were initially considered ambiguous. Bullshit. You knew... Dude, smoke and mirrors, man. You knew exactly what it was. With some speculating that he took Jean's appearance in order to give him a, quote, shield behind which to offer his confession, while others argue that he did so simply to up his chance of waking Wolverine. Oh, dude, that is really grasping at straws there. You know damn well what he was doing. But this ambiguity would not last long, as shortly after the episode's premiere on May 15th, the aforementioned DeMaio took to his personal Twitter account to positively confirm that, yes, Morph was confessing romantic feelings for Wolverine. Gay, wasn't in the original series. Fuck you, dude. Bullshit. Met with the assertion from a fan, damn, I should have known once he brought those beers and turned into Sabretooth. You should have known when you saw that first flyer in the beginning of episode 1. You should have known just who this guy is. You know, people are trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because he was fired and they haven't told the reason why. And some people speculated it was like maybe he didn't really want to listen to what the executive producers were saying. He just wanted to give a good story. No. This is what he wanted. Amazing. There we go. So a moment seen at the conclusion of the season's second episode, Mutant Liberation Begins, the former showrunner implied that the scene was a hint to Morph's feeling, admitting, yep, that wasn't an accident. There you go. At current, all 10 episodes of X-Men 97's first season are now streaming on Disney+. The scene has also been renewed for a second season, though production on it has yet to commence. Luke Skywalker. I've said before that there were some warning signs, but the series didn't make it about that stuff, and it's very specific to Morph's character only. It was a great first season for anyone that's a true X-Men fan, and you know the comics well. You should check it if you can on some other platforms. If you don't, wow, that's freaking out on my end. I'm done with this culture. The only way I've been watching I've been watching this is on the high seas. No one wants to give Disney money. Yep. But the series doesn't make it about that stuff. It's very specific to Morph's character only. Dude, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In this series, he was established as a man. He, him, doesn't matter. This is why these people love the chance to get to extend a well-established series, to change what it means to be a shapeshifter, the definition of it, and to have alternate universes and different timelines and all that stuff. This is why these people always snag up these type of property rights, so that they have an excuse to pull shit like this. I don't need to read the comics to know bullshit. And this is bullshit. The OG Morph in the original series knew who he was, and he had personal demon struggles because Mr. Sinister implanted that thing into his memory to hide the memories, but it haunts him. Whatever. But yeah, I saw it coming. No surprise. No surprise. And we will end off strong here with Fandom Pulse. So as we all know, Assassin's Creed Shadows is absolutely being shitted on for doing the due diligence of finding the one black man over in Japan. And when it was Japan's turn to finally be a part of the Assassin's Creed series, they picked him instead of what would be, the norm of the Japanese culture nowadays. And lo and behold, the person that they pick, Yasuke, has very little information about him. Again, this is what these people love. They love it when they find someone that can be DEI made with a very vague background history, and they can make shit up. And since they're, jerking off people like at Wikipedia and historical, gender study professors that apparently was involved with the Assassin's Creed stuff too, they can just weasel it on in, and no one will bat an eye. And then you have the retards come in trying to defend Assassin's Creed. Oh, no one cared about Black Flag because, there were black people during that time too. Yeah, but the average pirate was Welsh. That's what the main guy was. Fools. So Ubisoft shares tanks as racists at Kotaku, IGN, and the Gamer defend Yasuke, the African who surrendered to his master's opponent. So Ubisoft shares take a nosedive after the release of the official Assassin's Creed. Despite furious attempts by racists at Sleaze Rags, Kotaku, IGN, and man, this guy's going hard. And the Gamer defending the blackwashing of Japanese history and culture with Ubisoft's incredibly racist decision. And I've asked this before. I asked them what... I have yet to get a solid answer, from these people. How does being racist back combats racism? Because this is what it is. I know the answer, of course. The answer is that these people were the racist all along. They're just super hardcore projecting. They may be right once in a while with certain stuff. Again, the whole broken clock is right twice a day sort of thing. But at the end of the day, it's them. It's these people. These people that don't even care about half of this stuff anyway. It's just for clout. And culture with Ubisoft's incredibly racist decision to not give Assassin's Creed Shadows a Japanese male protagonist, but instead rewrite history and pass off the real-life historical figure Yasuke, who was a slave, as a main protagonist, and a samurai. Ubisoft's share price over the last 30 days goes down. You are not samurai. Ubisoft, known for its exploitative practices towards gamers, has seen its shares steadily grow over the past month, and the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows to be released later this year was guaranteed to solidify that growth. Or not, in an astoundingly stupid and disrespectful move, Ubisoft decided it was a good idea to portray a real life black slave Yasuke as a samurai and make him one of the main protagonists. Not only did Japanese gamers show their disapproval of this disapproval of this blackwashing of Japanese history, but the market did too. Ubisoft's shares tanked and were down almost 10% one day after the release of the official Assassin's Creed Shadows game trailer. There you go. 14th, 15th. Oh my gosh, look at that nosedive. This is despite the usual suspects at Kotaku, IGN, and the Gamer attempted, and still attempt to justify this astonishingly stupid blackwashing of Japanese history and culture by defending the sidelining of a Japanese male samurai, because these people hate Asians, as protagonists in favor of Yasuke. They are clearly in a panic, as the racists at IGN, Kotaku, and the Gamer have been running 2 or 3 articles per day defending Ubisoft's racist decision. Oof. Dude, 2 to 3 articles per day? Wow, you guys are pathetically racist. What a bunch of fags. Kenneth Shepard at Kotaku writes, while some of the specifics of Yusuke's life are disputed by historians, the majority of it is disputed by historians. The commonly understood story is that he arrived in Japan as a bodyguard. No. Or not to Nobunaga. The commonly understood story is that he arrived in Japan as a bodyguard. Be specific, douchebag. I read the article. He was a bodyguard, I believe, for some Irish guy, not Nobunaga. Notice how they specifically didn't mention Nobunaga or the other bodyguard guy. But according to this article, no, Kotaku, Yasuke is commonly understood to have arrived in Japan as a slave. From the current Wikipedia inscription, which may be changed now because they are also on red alert. On 27th of March, 1581, Vangalinano, together with Louis Forrest, who had arrived in Japan earlier, had an audience with Nobunaga, and Yasuke is said to have accompanied them as an attendant. Booyah! That's what I read. Matt Perslow at IGN writes, but Shadows has a second protagonist, an African samurai. If you're surprised to see such a man of such origins wielding a katana, you may not know his fascinating true story. This is Yasuke, Japan's first black samurai, and the first real historical person to be a playable protagonist in an Assassin's Creed game. The entire Assassin's Creed series is based on conspiracies. I mean, I stopped playing after Brotherhood. I think I was halfway in Assassin's Creed 3 and I stopped, and I was like, dude, I'm done with this. Yasuke was indeed given a short sword. I believe that's a wakizashi. But he remained a servant. What? So he was still a slave. Oh, he was given a sword, but he was still a servant. Oh my gosh. As far as serving as a template for a brave warrior, Ubisoft couldn't have chosen a worse historical character. Historical records would indicate that Yasuke eventually surrendered during his battle with his master's opponent. From historical record, we learned that a vassal of Akechi approached him, Yasuke, and said, "Do not be afraid. Give me that sword." So he gave him the sword. Oh my gosh, what a bitch. By the way, a katana and I believe a short sword are different. Like I said, I think it's the wakizashi. You have the katana, the wakizashi, and then I think of Aoshi in Rurouni Kenshin. He uses the todachi, which might actually be a true name, but I'm not exactly sure. That's kind of more of a short sword. But yeah, the katana is, I'm just going to look this up right now. Is a katana considered a short sword? Katana. The specific term is a uchigatana. Developed later than the tachi. Kodachi. Oh, I was right. Yeah, the wakizashi is also known as the kodachi. That's the short sword. Yeah, I'm seeing nothing that says that the katana is a short sword. I'm even using, Wikipedia here. I'm seeing nowhere in katana with... Dude. Check this out, guys. Katana can also be known as dai or daito among Western sword enthusiasts, although daito is a generic name for any Japanese long sword, literally meaning big sword. If anything, it's closer than showing that it's a short sword. It's considered a long sword than a short sword. Oh my gosh. In Portuguese, it means large knife. Look at this. Everything like other cultures utilizing a name similar to katana is associating it with a big sword or a long sword. And look at this right over here. Tachi, katana, wakizashi, kodachi. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. And who was this douchebag? Matt Perslow. Oh my gosh. Straight up says, yeah, he was given a short sword. Ugh. That's not even a katana. I used Wikipedia, folks. I used their own sources. I looked over there, and so far I didn't see the word katana and short sword were not in the same sentences. Oh my gosh. Dude, epic fail for this retard. Jade King from The Gamer takes a different approach defending Ubisoft's black washing of Japanese history and culture in his article for The Gamer titled Assassin's Creed doesn't care about historical accuracy, and neither should you. Oh, so then you did specifically you specifically went looking for a black person or someone that wasn't Asian. That's racism. Assassin's Creed doesn't care about historical accuracy, and neither should you. So after reading that again, these retards are saying, why, like, you're racist because you're mad because he's a true historical figure. And then this retard over here is like, oh, Assassin's Creed doesn't care. Then don't use that Yasuke was a historical figure as an argument, as a point. You literally just defeated yourself with this stupid headline. Oh my gosh. What Jade King from The Gamer omits is that every Assassin's game so far has featured protagonists from the race local to the game setting. Yes, someone pointed this out. Yes. But when it comes to the Japanese, apparently Ubisoft doesn't care, and the Japanese gamer will just have to suck it up and play as an African in Japan, massacring Japanese. How thoughtful, stunning, and brave of Ubisoft. And there you guys go, folks. Oh my gosh. But the fact that this sucker just plummeted the day of the release of that trailer. Look, you even got earlier stuff too. Look at that. It was going up, up, up. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yasuke, the first historical black African samurai. Whoosh. Gong. Rip Ubisoft share. Good job, Kotaku, IGN, and the Gamer. Way to help out dropping them shares. But that was pretty much all I had for you today, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in, hanging out with me. Hope you had some laughs. I did. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about all of the articles here. I think they're just hilarious. Again, make sure to smash that subscribe button, punch that thumbs up, and ring that bell to get notified when I go live. We were on YouTube, Rumble, and X. And on X, you can find my link tree with my other social media accounts listed there below. And then in the descriptions of YouTube and Rumble, you can find them there. And if you want to go beyond helping the channel, consider checking out subscription and membership tiers. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and then we should be back on here in a little bit with some more Sword of Mana. Really loving that game so far. Very solid. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Catch you guys in a little bit. I mean, and then of course, if worse comes to worse and I don't get on, I should be online over the weekend. So just keep an eye out for there. Usually in the afternoon, sometimes early afternoon, sometimes the normal 8 p.m. possibly. But just all the more reason to turn on those notifications and to subscribe. All right, you guys take care. God bless. Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.